We are in the last 27 minutes of the PCC. So we are going to be playing this. I am just waiting for the chat to load up in front of me. I'm hoping that it will show up soon. There we are. We are indeed alive. Roddy Piper and Jake the Snake Roberts. And I think we'll start off the live stream with 5 free gifted paid subs from the Grand Cat to 5 of our wonderful Grand Cat Grand Fleet members. So congratulations to another failed upload, Denke Kamari, Cyberdrigger, Bruno Gonclaves, and the Sniper Boy 360. Congratulations to all of you. You have all got yourselves a paid subscription to the Big Old Grand Cat, compliment to the Big Old Grand Cat, which gives you access to over 100 unique videos. And Big YouTube GK1 says, hello, Grand Cat. Hello. Baron Ransack Von Joy says, the links have been shared, Grand Cat. Thank you, Baron. Very much appreciated. So what we're going to be doing is for the next 26 minutes, we will be playing PCC. Then after that, we will be getting on with the rest of today's wonderful little things, such as Roll the Ring. I was about to say Bounty Breaker, that's not what it's called. Blocker Buster. D1 says, hello, Grand Cat. Thanks for the content. Meow meow. Did you know that Taco Cat backwards is Taco Cat? Yes, I did indeed, good sir. That is called a palindrome. When something is the same backwards as it is forwards. It is the same as race car. Race car backwards is also race car. But Taco Cat is the much more fun one to remember. Or because Taco Cat is ridiculous. Yeah, the Grand Cat Grand Fleet are slowly beginning to enter the chat now. And thank you all for coming along and joining me live. Perhaps you're playing your own PCC with big old Grand Cat in the background. Unfortunately, Grand Cat is not palindrome. Grand Cat backwards would be Tac D Narg. It's a ridiculous thing to think of. There we are. I have put a goal for today. So the goal for today is if one person gives a teal super chat, I will answer any one family-friendly question. I have to put the word family-friendly in there because I can't go saying that I will answer any adult questions that may not be appropriate. Big YouTube says, I have a quick question. Is YouTube your main source of income? Or do you have a job that is not content creation? I really want to do YouTube as well. I do have a job. I run a card game shop, and I have been running it for 15 years now. I started that long before I had I had the YouTube channel, but the YouTube channel started off as just me uploading fun little videos, and it was over the pandemic that I decided to start making it into a thing. And since then, I've been uploading daily videos, just trying to get as much views as possible, and then seeing what sticks and what didn't. And people like unboxing videos, and card game videos was the main thing that I wanted to do. And then I started recording the various different mobile games that I play, and W Supercard really, really picked up. So that's largely why you see so much W Supercard content, because it's what you guys are after. Spanner says, on this very channel is the answer. Oh, Spanner says, on this very channel is the answer. Yes, about my card game shop. Yes, very good, Spanner. We've been streaming for 6 minutes and we already have 28 Grand Cat Grand Fleet members watching right this very second. So huge thank you, huge shout out to all of you. Leon says hi. Hello, Leon. Now, Leon, I recognize your name. I think you are someone else on my Discord server. I do recognize that Leon name, but I can't place it at the moment. If you could please remind me of who you are. I'm thinking maybe Bofa? Jacob says, hello, Grand Cat. How are you doing? I am good. Ah, Leon is the dark one. Yes. I can never remember people's other account names. I'm so used to talking to the dark one on Discord. I know them as that rather than their YouTube account. I'm pretty sure that Bofa has a completely different name on YouTube as well. Jacob, how am I doing? Yes, I'm doing good. I was a little bit rushed today because I had to make the daily video, and then immediately after that I had a phone call that I needed to make because by the time that I finish this, it'll be far too late to make such phone calls. So I did have quite a few things all going in a row. I was very surprised to see that the final reward in WrestleMania Forever had been revealed. It is Roman Reigns. And there's also a Roman Reigns Limited Edition and Special Edition, both of them, where he is holding the World Heavyweight Championship. So that is pretty cool. Sora's Rage says, how is it going, Grand Cat? Hello, Sora's Rage. Thank you for coming along. I am doing fairly well. We are just playing through PCC here at the moment. We're going to be doing this for the next 20 odd minutes. Big G YouTube GK1 says, okay, yeah, I only really watch your Supercard videos, but I definitely will start watching your other content. Your videos light up my day. Thank you, Big G. It's very much appreciated. I always like hearing when people enjoy my video. Jacob says, how you get LE of Rarity Draft Board? Is there a limited edition on the Rarity Draft Board? Is that a thing? Can someone confirm that for me? I'm not aware of it if there is. And if someone can tell me what the limited edition is, I would be very interested to hear that. Because we do have a lot of Rarity Draft picks saved up. So if there is an LE on the Rarity Draft Board, I would certainly try my best to get it once we finish PCC. As I said, I've been quite busy today, so I've not had a proper chance to look anything up, so you guys are going to have to be my information for today. Now, normally I would just be tapping the screen, but I'm not doing that because it interferes with the microphone. So I am actually legitimately sitting here looking at things. Leon says, I don't think there's an Ellie available on the draft board. Okay. If there is one, I've certainly not heard about it. Here we go again. I say he, I mean they. We don't know the, we can't assume genders anymore. Here we go again. Says, never do what I have been trying to do. I wanted to see how high I could get rank-wise without spending a single credit in PCC. And I'm playing every single second I'm awake at rank 396 at the moment, and I am tired. I have done the exact same thing as you, and there, in fact, actually in season 1, the first event card that I got, it was Triple H. I couldn't win. It was one of the ones, that you either go for a +1, +3, or +5, and you could spend money for point doublers. I couldn't win the +5s or the +3s, but you can always win the +1s. So I legitimately played +1s for almost 4 days straight to get that pro Triple H. So yeah, I didn't sleep for the entire time. Once I got the Triple H, I actually felt sick afterwards, and then I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. I took the screenshots and then just went to bed and slept for a long, long time. Here we go again. It says never again. I have also felt exactly that way. Brad's Tolberg says, no fear, delete 99 is here. How are you as Grand Cat? Pretty good. Thank you for coming along, delete 99. Here we go again. Says, I will gladly get top 3,000 in future. Yes. If you're going for the top 100 or the top 50, it is an absolute nightmare. I got 68, rank 68 for Seth Rollins in a last man standing once, and it cost me so many credits. And I spent so much time playing last man standing that I was like, never again. I can't even remember what tier that was. But yeah, I do remember just saying, like, I'm never doing that again. Big G says, have you ever went to South Africa? I don't think I've ever been to South Africa. I've been almost everywhere in the globe, with the exception of, the Arctic and the Antarctic. But yeah, South Africa is one of those places that I've never actually been to. He says, it's a really great place for vacation. I live here. If you ever do want to come here, then you should come to Cape Town. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's certainly something that I would think about. I get quite rooted in my ways, and generally I tend to go to Japan when I go on holiday, of which there are videos, and you can see those videos by becoming an official subscriber of the Grand Cat. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Have I been to Australia? I don't think I have been to Australia either. But I have been to Japan, which is very close to Australia. But I do know that Australia is filled with many, many dangerous creatures. But I suppose everywhere in the world has some level of danger. But there's certainly more dangerous creatures in Australia than other parts of the world. So that is one of the things that has put me off there. Here we go again. Says, is it even possible without spending a ton, just due to bots alone? Well, I'm not sure that bots are quite as reliable as what you think, because as you will probably eventually see, after you play for such a long time, there will come up a little code that you need to type in just to prove that you are human. So if people are using bots, they only go that far and then don't go any further. So although I don't know how evolved bots are now, maybe they can get by that. I do not know. I know there are other people that break the games in way to speed up the game, which I've never dared do because, quite frankly, I would never like to have my account banned. So I stay away from all forms of cheating, just to make entirely sure that I am safe. But yeah, I think it really is money that people are using to just get, like, I mean, originally at one time there was only point doublers, and now there's points where there is point quadruplers. Now, originally I thought that I spent a lot of money on W Supercard and on mobile games until I started playing puzzles and survival, and then I realized what people that spend money actually look like, because there's people that have things that you cannot get without spending literally hundreds of pounds, and like they have like multiple of them, and it's like, oh, oh, okay, I see. There are people in this world who just have enough money that they can just spend a couple of £1,000 without noticing, and it's like, oh, right. So I don't spend a lot of money by comparison. So yeah, I think there is just people that have uh, a nigh unlimited resource of wealth that they can just get things. Let's see here. Spanner says, I got 31 in Last Man Standing Roman way back in the day and regretted it. That's another thing, is even if you get a really high number, it's only really good for that tier. Is really unfortunate. TT Just Toby says top 500 is just cash grab. Well, I mean, the thing is, there are things that are just cash grabs. Like this Rod Roddy Piper. The only way to get that is to spend money, because you spend money, you get the backstage tokens, and then use the backstage tokens. So that one is, literally a cash grab. But even if you spend money on getting all the point quadruplers in the world, you still need to actually play the game in order to get those. So yes, the people that have the money to buy unlimited point doublers or quadruplers will have a tremendous advantage. They still need to put in some work, not unless they get one of their hired help to play the game for them. That's also a possibility. Never thought of that. Then at that point, like, are you even actually playing the game, or are you just giving your account to someone else? Hamoera says, hi, is a Grandcat? Yee. Alex Garner says, hi, Grandcat. Oh, two big fans of Big Ol' Grandcat, Hamoera and Alex Gardner. Thank you, both of you, to come along. Hamoera says, hi, it's me. Oh no, is this Golden Freddy? It's me. T Just Toby says, Puzzle and Survival is so expensive. Yes, it is. I originally started playing Puzzle and Survival because there was a offer wall on W Supercard, and since then I've just continued to play it. I got myself into a decent little team, and it's a nice group of people, and it's because of that little group of people, the team is called LOR, that I continued playing, and I was thinking, oh, okay, well, this is nice. So it's nice to just what I like is team events, where you all get together and you all work towards a common goal. Oh my goodness, there's 44 people now in the live stream. The live stream, which has been going on for 18 minutes now. So thank you all for coming along. But yeah, the puzzle survival, the money part does put me off, because there's so many things. It's like, hey, if you want this, spend money on it. And some of them are like small little things, like $1.99, $3.99, this kind of thing. But then there's ones that's like, hey, if you want this, it's £100, it's $99.99, and also, like, that's just for one character. Like, we have this for like almost all of the characters, and it's like, oh no. Hamware says, I'm not going to get Ethan Page. Well, now is the time to grind. There is less than 8 minutes remaining. So if you do want to get your final games in, now is the time to do it while you are listening to Big Ol' Grand Cat. But if you don't get the Ethan Page, I wouldn't worry too much about it because there's so many special edition cards that I don't think he's actually going to be incredibly relevant. And of course, there will be a new tier happening in just about a month's time anyway. So do not worry too much. See, here is the thing. This is it, just making sure that I am not a bot and I am not AI. I am a real cat. Meow meow. You can hear by my wonderful meowing that I am a big old grand cat. And certainly not AI produced at all. Source Rage says, never played Puzzle and Survivors, but there's a character in the Walking Dead Survivors mobile game. If you want them, it costs 25,000 US dollars. Oh my god. There is some crossover between Puzzle and Survival and The Walking Dead, but I believe all of those events have all ended before I started playing. I don't think you can get any of those Walking Dead characters. So you can still get the characters, but what it is, it's a skin that turns that character into the likes of Negan or is it Ramon, Shamon, or any of the other characters. So, example, the person that's Negan is a guy that has a big spiked baseball club at bat, but you can put the skin on him to turn him into Negan, so he just looks exactly like Negan. But unfortunately, that is no longer available. I think there's also ones for like the Resident Evil 2 Mr. X Tyrant. And I think there's also ones that are not official ones, but that look like Lady Deborah from, of course, Resident Evil Village. So things like that. Let's see here. Brown Brother says, what's up? Are you getting IC Champ? Yes, that will be one of the things that we'll be going for after PCC finishes. PCC has just over 5 minutes left to go. Oh, just under 5 minutes now. It's 4 minutes 55 seconds, actually. So that is one of the things we'll be going for. Hammer says, I'm going to get me a Tony Day Aglow. I do not know what that is. I am hoping it is age appropriate and is not some ridiculous thing. Spanner says, unfortunately, whoever you pick to get Ethan, which I hate. Don't worry, because you can now, thanks to updates with W Supercard, you can get the image for Tony D'Angelo at least on the backstage pass once the event ends. That's one of the things that happened with the AJ Styles versus Ilya Dragunov PCC, because a lot of people, much like myself, really wanted that Ilya Dragunov with the United States Championship over his shoulder, but of course AJ Styles with the tag title over his shoulder won, so they did give us the Ilya image backstage. And of course, if you get two of them, you can make it into a pro, and it's just a little bit stronger than what a regular pro would be. So you can't get exactly the Ethan Page or the Tony D'Angelo that you want, because you will get the Ethan Page, but you can still get the Tony D'Angelo through the other way if you want that. I think it's a good way to go about it. I think it's more fair giving everyone the same card rather than people getting split cards. Let me just read Hamuera's comment in just a second here. We just want to get this PCC started. Hamuera says, what game do you play to get credits? I'm guessing he's saying, what game do you want to play? Do you play in order to get credits? Well, generally, when I need credits, I'll look at the offer wall and I'll see what I think is the best option that I've got. There's some games that I'm aware are just money eaters, So I try to stay away from them. I don't go after things that only have a very small amount of credits either. I tend to go for the larger ones, but the larger ones do tend to cost money. But I do know that you can get credits for free off the offer wall off of playing certain games. Craig Etches, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce your name, says, hang on, I'm just going to start this game here because we only have a minute and 50 seconds left to play. Says, I don't know why people picked Page, not like he has enough cards already. Well, I think the reason that people picked Ethan Page is because people know who Ethan Page is, because he's got more of a mainstream appearance than what Tony D'Angelo does. Although Tony D'Angelo is the NXT champion, unfortunately he's not been featured on main roster where Ethan Page has. And I think also a lot of people know Ethan Page from his time in both TNA and in AEW. So I think that Ethan Page is more established. And it's not who you think is the better wrestler. PCC has always been about who is the most popular. We have 54 seconds now, so I will be ignoring the chat for just a minute while I focus on trying to get 2 more games of PCC done. See, there's a little bit of a conversation happening there, which I will get to a little bit later on. There's an RKO from Randall Keith Orton. I'm looking at the clock here. It says 21:59. I'm not sure if we even will be able to get another game in after this one, but we will certainly try our best here. With 1 second left to go, I think that is it. The event has now ended. So currently it says that we are ranked 1,812. We got 667 wins and 6 losses. Those 6 losses, of course, came from me using PCC to train up cards. But that's it. PCC is now over and done with. Thank goodness for that. Let's see here. Josh Brown says, is that Lola Vice brand new? Ah, you're asking about... no, that's Soul Ruka. This Lola Vice. Let me just read through the rest of the comments here. Thought the only Ellie released today was Roman. Well, I mean, the Roman Reigns hasn't even been released because you can't actually get him, not without having the other title belts that haven't been released yet. Spanner says, I wasn't looking, but I'm guessing it was the campaign Lola. It is indeed. This is the Lola Vice that you get for completing campaign mode, which we did in the previous live stream. Craig says, yeah, that's true, but Tony made more sense for people who still need to finish campaign mode. I think you're overestimating how many people actually play campaign mode. Like, there certainly is a lot of people that are the higher tiered players that will go for campaign mode. And even at that, a lot of people don't finish campaign. They just use campaign to get the rewards up until the last couple of rewards. But yeah, I don't think there's enough people that are deliberately doing events to try and get cards to complete campaign mode. Alex Garden says it's campaign Lola. Josh Brown says, yeah, my bad. Alex Garden says, now time for Team Road to Glory. Hammer says, Road to Glory. Brown Brother says, I got 1,833 and saw you at 1,810. Oh my goodness, you are very, very close to me. Clono says, is that Roman pack in the web store worth it? If I'm completely honest, I would say no, because we already have the Yokozuna from the Battle Pass that already has the Salt Bucket, which is also plus power. So if you got that, if you got the Battle Pass, I think you don't really need it. The main reason I bought it is, of course, 20% chance of getting the special edition Roman Reigns, but it was more just to showcase it for you guys. And if I wasn't doing this for YouTube, I'm not sure I would have paid that. Now, the other one, the coconut one, it was much cheaper. The coconut, which of course is for Roddy Piper, and there it is. That was much, much cheaper than what the Roman Reigns one was, but I think WWE Supercard felt like they could get away with it because Roman Reigns is such a big star, and I think that is maybe why it was paid, like it cost more. Also, normally it says you can buy this 5 times. You purchased it 1 to 5 times or whatever. The Roman Reigns one did not do that. Oh, Brody or Broy Dell was trying to invite me to tag team takedown. Unfortunately, I won't be doing that. It's not on camera. Not just now. Maybe later. But yeah. So, is it worth it? I would say not. I think it's a bit expensive. I much prefer seeing when the online pack things are a little bit cheaper than that. George Brown says there's a pack for Roman in the online shop, but it's only a 25% chance, I think. Craig says, yeah, another good shout again. Big Bossman says, finished at 2,316. Well, that's a 2,316. I tell you what. Because Bossman316 says, I just drove your ass. Spanner says, I don't think that pack's worth it. You get an LE for free in the event. Well, I wouldn't say for free. I mean, we do still need to get the title belts, and Lights Out is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I mean, you can get the limited edition, so yeah. Brown Brothers says, yeah, I was at school, so I couldn't grind anymore. Yeah, I don't think you are missing anything out tremendously, if I'm completely honest with you. Craig says, making money back for sending JB to Mania. Is that what W Supercard are doing? They're trying to recover their losses. Oh, good heavens. Oh. Right. Okay, so we have Rule the Ring that we still need to do. We, of course, still need to do our Raw matches, of which we've got 3 hours left to do them. Of course, we're going for the Intercontinental Champion. We are currently the Intercontinental Champion. I will show you, but we need to retain our championship if we want to keep the Intercontinental Championship. So there you can see we have reigned for 7 days and 0 hours. We're going to try and retain that for a little bit longer. We won it at WrestleMania. And we're going to try and keep our reign going. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, we've got a whole bunch of comments here. Agent Worthy says, should I pro Brock or Knight backstage? Only if you want that particular wrestler. Do remember that we will be getting a new tier in, I mean, a few weeks from now. I mean, it's not soon, but also, I mean, I don't know whether that special edition is going to help your deck tremendously or not. If you think it will, then by all means, go for it. Weirdly, the Brock Lesnar is also a down arrow, as is LA Knight, and LA Knight has higher power than Brock Lesnar, so I don't know what on earth is going on there. Let's see here. Spanner. No, Josh says, from my free Rule the Ring game, I got 2 Eddies in the last ring and final reward, so I'm happy. Congratulations, Josh. That is very, very lucky. That's very, very cool. Spanner says, to be honest, I'm assuming the belts will be one-offs in a quest for each one, like the Piper and Linked one. Yes, they certainly will be. They'll be the special final reward for each of the different games that they'll be available in. Asgard says, I hope we get quests that give the titles. Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, we did get one for the Roddy Piper, so I'm hoping that we get one for the next belt as well. That'd be very nice. Brownlow says, yeah, my left arrows are good. Alright, I just need credits. Stardash and Blast. Is that 2 different people, or is that one person that's just called Stardash and Blast? Let me know, Stardash. Just got back into Supercard after some years off. Last year, I really played was WrestleMania 39, and then came back last year for 2 months, around this time of year, and wasn't feeling it. Feels right this time. Interesting. That's an interesting thing to see. I've known many people that have stepped away from the game for a while and then came back, and it's very interesting to see your perspective because, of course, you're already a veteran. You already know how most of the things work. There will be some new, exciting, interesting things for you. And for anything that is brand new to you, I do have a tutorial. So if you just type in tutorial, type in the name of the thing, and then type in the Grand Cat, you'll find a big old Grand Cat explaining everything that you need to know. Hamura says, I finished, I got 132. You got 132? My goodness, that was very highly ranked. Sword Rage says, just got my Pro Eddie from Rule the Ring. Downware says, I failed PCC, got lazy, and ended up 10,300. Oh no! You were just outside of that 10,000 rank to get the card. Agent Worley says, I'm needing male down arrows. Broydale says, daily streak is 3 rarity draft picks, if you didn't know. I did know, and that's why I deliberately haven't claimed them, because I'm waiting for a point where there's a limited edition of the rarity draft board, and I will use them then. Brown says, I got 2 Eddies and a belt on ring 4. Craig says, the build-a-pack mode is going to be an utter cash grab. It always is, and I was really surprised to see that there's a title belt linked to Build-A-Pack, and there's also a title belt linked to Lights Out. Brandon says 3,961. I assume that is the rank that you finished up with. Let's see what our Team Road to Glory is. Oh, Team Road to Glory is going to be Braun Breaker. That's very, very cool. I believe that's also going to be a fortified card for me. So I shall look forward to getting that when our team finishes that. Hammer says, I got 4 Eddies and I got Ban Belt, whatever that means. Brandon, thumbs up. That means the tie was correct. Okay, what else are we doing for just now? So we already claimed the free pack during today's video, but we do have Rule the Ring, so let's jump into this one next, shall we? We are on the final ring here. So we either go straight into the Diamond pack or we will get the Platinum pack, and it looks like we have indeed completed Rule the Ring. Congratulations, tap to get your reward. I believe there's a 10% chance of getting the Eddie Guerrero. We haven't got an Eddie Guerrero yet, so hopefully we get one here. Nope, we did indeed just get the Golden Era title. Now, this one, we already have the Pro of the title, so I think we are just going to leave that, because that'll be a ×10 multiple should we need it. And it costs 50 more credits to start again. And what are the chances here? It is a 3% chance of getting the Eddie Guerrero, which we still haven't got. I think I am going to leave that just now, but let's do Hype Train. So Hype Train, we need to get an 18 or a 19. So chat, I hope that your math is good. Okay, we've got an 8 and 6 and an 8. So an 8, a 6, we would need a 5. A 5 is the only thing that would work, because 8 plus 6 plus 6 is 20, which is going to be 1 over. So we do need to split up the 2 8s, because it's not possible to put the 2 8s together. That would be 16, and we cannot get a 3. 5 is the lowest number we can get. So we can either put the 6 together with one of these 8s and hope that we get a 5, or we can split up the 8s and the 6s. But I think I'm going to put 1 6 in here, because I think either way we're going to need at least 1 5 regardless. Okay, we've got a 5, so that works out nicely. That is a Hype 2. We're going to put 1 6 in here, and of course if we put the other 6 in there, that would be overhyped, so I'm going to put the other 6 down here instead. And let's see what we get. Let's see if we can finish this. There is indeed a 5, which is Hype 2. And of course a 6 plus a 6 is a 12, plus a 7 is a 19, which is a perfect Hype 6. And let's go ahead and claim. This is the maximum reward that you can get. And unfortunately, we did not get the special edition Rowdy Roddy Piper, but thankfully we already have the Pro of him. So that would have just been a fortified card. So I think I'm okay with that one. Let's go ahead and do Blocker Buster next. Now, folks, you all know the words. Let's sing it with me here. Meow, 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 meow. That is the official words of the theme. Now, we do have that 9 square there. It would be... It's very tempting to spend 100 credits to turn that into a times to a 2. In fact, actually, I think we will. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we get lucky here. Now, where are we going with this? Okay. That? Could be going better. Okay, well, we now know where the gold belt is at least. So the silver belt is either down here or it's up here, but it certainly isn't anywhere else. So we'll just do that and let's just claim an exit. We spent 100 credits, but we did get the gold belt at least. Got a couple of rewind cards there. That isn't so bad. Those will be some nice ×4 multipliers. We do have the free pack back once again. We have 2 days and 21 hours left on the Ovation tokens. Now, I can't help but notice that there is nothing in the actual WWE store here that has a chance at getting you the special edition Roman Reigns. That's exclusive to the paid packs on the web store. Very interesting. Is there any new quests? There is not. Okay, well, let's jump into WrestleMania Forever, and let's trade in some cards, shall we? I think this deserves a ×4 multiplier, not that ×10 multiplier. That will be saved when we have even larger cards. We're now at 140,000. Caesar's just type in unlocked, and we'll go for another one of these ×4 multipliers. Yeah, I see that there's a lot of chat happening. I will try and read some of your guys' chats in just a moment. I think ×4 multiplier is fine if it's over 1,000 points. After that, I think it's worth dropping down to a lower amount. Oh, we don't want to do that. That one we need to pro. See, that one's only 808 points, so at this point, I think we're going to drop down to an Ember tier instead. And we only have 2 papers left, so we'll leave them for the time being. Let's go ahead and claim this 24/7. It is... Oh, we've reached the maximum number of equipment cards, so we're not allowed to. So we need to go ahead and dust some cards, which is fine. Nope, not that one. That's us. That's everything that we want to dust. Very close to another rare traffic. Now let's go ahead and claim this 24/7. And we should be able to cash some of those in. Now we also had a WrestleMania Rewind that we needed to combine here, which is this Pump It Up. That's going to give us an additional star, just like so. Okay, let's jump back into WrestleMania Forever, and we will trade in some of these. That actually looks pretty alright, so I think we might go for a WrestleMania Rewind card here. That is over 1,000. And we should be at about 145,000, 144,872. So of course 150,000 is the next reward, but of course we can't claim any of the rewards until we get the Attitude Era title, the spinner belt from Ruthless Aggression, and then the final reward will come from the Modern Era, and of course that's going to give us this limited edition Roman Reigns from WrestleMania 42, which is very, very cool indeed. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. We have been largely ignoring the chat for a little bit. There you can see the cards that you can get from Team Road to Glory. And of course, if you want all of these cards, you can go ahead and join my team. And in order to join my team, all you need to do is go into the description of this little live stream. You will see a link to my Discord server. Go into the Discord server and say, "Hi, I'm a fan of Grandcat and I would like to join your team." And from there, someone else, not me, someone else will get you into the team. Do not private message the Grandcat. The Grandcat never reads his private messages. Oh my goodness, we have the maximum number of draft picks as well. This is going well here, isn't it? But in order to get into the team, it is not Big Old Grandcat, because you will start in the Grandcat NXT, and you will need to work your way up to Soul World Order, which is the home of the Grandcat. What are we keeping here? We're keeping this Rare paper. And we can keep this Royal Rumble 26 card, and that should give us a new rare to draft pick as well. Raunak Godball says, "I will private message the Grandcat, even if he will not reply, I will." That is someone that just likes going against authority. It's like, how dare you tell me what to do? I shall do the exact opposite of it. Even if you'll never see it or reply, I will still message you. Please don't. You will merely add to my mountainous amounts of unread messages on Discord. Is slowly becoming like my emails, which I believe I now have over, I think it's over 100,000 emails that I have not read. It's like, oh, that is far too many. Right, so let's go back and read some of these messages. Stardash and Blast says, I got 4 eddies, 2 playing halfway through them, and then 2 on the first circle. Got over 20,000 backstage coins and over 85,000 super coins. Should I save those for next year? My name is one person. Thanks for the tutorials. Oh, you're very welcome. In that case, I think I shall just call you Stardash from now on, because Stardash and Blast is far too many syllables. But I would recommend probably keeping those for the next tier, unless there's a particular card that you're after, or unless you're trying to collect the cards similar to what I am. Daniel Mayer says, Pro Brawn for me, congrats, Star. Not enough likes, everybody. Let's go! Stardash says, thanks, I have Supercard just from, Super Coins, just from saving them, and backstage from last year and some from this year. You just save those and always forget to use them. Hamuera says, let's go, is Grandcat. Spanner says, those lyrics are a little complicated. Diamere says, there's another month until next year. Use them if you're trying to finish campaign. Brandon, smiley face. Stardust says, thanks again. Diamere, how much time is left in the campaign? It's a very good question. I think it's about 4 weeks. Diamere says, I have an F3 Joe working on another pro. Stardash says, oh my bad, you said a month. Diamere says, maybe on Wednesday. Okay. Christopher Warriors says, hi. Hello, Christopher Warriors. Brandon says, hi. And love heart emojis. Stardash says, Supercard seems to have made a lot of good changes since back in the day. I remember when I started in Season 2, how different it was. Yes, I've been playing all the way from Season 1. And I remember when Season 2 came out and everyone was furious about it because they said you weren't allowed to use any of your cards from Season 1. So there was 2 different game modes. There was a Season 1 and there was a Season 2, both running at the same time, which was ridiculous. And all the events were all for Season 2 instead of Season 1. So there was no reason to play Season 1 any longer. Christopher Warrior says, hey, when does PCC give rewards? Stardust says, probably within 2 to 3 hours max, I think. Brand says, can I join your team? Yeah, I already explained how to do that. Prav says, hi, Zagrandcat. Hello, Prav. Spanner says, because Team Road to Glory has already started, you won't be able to join until after. Yes, indeed, that's how it works. You cannot join during Team Road to Glory, and you also have to wait until the claim phase ends as well. Ben Horror says, I need to join a team at some point. I'm in one with my friends, but there's only 4 of us. I always miss out on events, even though I'm on grinding 24/7. Well, perhaps you and your 4 friends could maybe all join Big Old Grandcat's team. I'm not sure we've got enough space for all of you, but certainly spaces do open up. And when another space does open, then maybe you can get another teammate in, and so on and so forth. Runuk says, is our cat single or not? I'm not entirely sure. That is something that you guys need to know, but yes, I am single. Alex Garner says, you might have to back out of the game, as your Team Road to Glory says 0 points when we're on 75 points. Grandcat, I don't think so. I think I can just jump right in, as it is. Then I shall go against authoritarian rule, and shall do what I like, as I am a cat. The team that I'm in Puzzle and Survival, they don't all speak English, but there is a wonderful thing that is a translator, and there's a running gag in Puzzle and Survivor that, as a cat, I go into my neighbours' gardens and crap. So whenever we're in team events where we have to attack opponents' teams, they're like, go cat, go crap in the neighbour's garden. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yes, I am a cat that goes against the rules of authority, and I shall crap in my neighbour's garden. If Puzzles and Survival is to be believed. We have a tremendous amount of Yokozunas and Jacob the Snakeable Roberts. couple of Undertakers weirdly as well. And there is a Lola of Ice, which I think may be big old Grand Cat's Lola of Ice. And then a tag team here, Jake Fatu and Randall Keith Orton. Broydell says, would you like to tag team takedown? It gets you 20 legacy cards turned into WrestleMania Forever while we wait for Ethan. You know what? Actually, maybe now it's not such a bad idea. We do have a little bit of time to wait. And those legacy cards do help. Yeah, and it could be a fun thing to do. Let's go ahead, we'll dust those parts there. Okay, we're now on 85 points there, you can see. Yes, tag team takedown. Actually, let's see. What do we have in WrestleMania Forever that we can tag in? Okay, we've got literally just enough there. And I think we're going to go ahead and use... Whoa! Oh! Stardash! With a $4.99 special thing says, what is your favourite book and season of the year? Thank you very much for that, Stardash. Goal achieved, thanks to the participants. The Grand Cat just achieved the goal. Wow, that's very, very cool of you, Stardash. Okay, well, I just said that I would answer this question. So, what is my favourite book? I think my favourite book is known as The Divine Comedy. It is Dante's Inferno. It's a very, very interesting book that follows Dante, who was the person that wrote it, and Virgil as they transcend through the different layers of hell, all the way down to the 9th layer of hell, where they go into the center of Lake Cocytus in the middle of Judaea, of which is where Lucifer-Satan is entombed in the frozen hellscape, which is exclusively for people who has blasphemed directly against God. And I thought that was a very, very cool little series of... Oh, it's one big story, but it's a section of different stories. It's quite dark. So, I mean, certainly it's adult reading. And what is my favourite season of the year? I think my favourite season of the year, I would have to say, is probably spring. Now, in Scotland, winter can be freezing. It can be absurdly cold. It can be frozen hellscape, certainly. Spring is nice. It's when we get out of the cold weather and the weather starts heating up. It's nice, bright and sunny outside. It's very nice to see. It's good for walking about in. But once we get into summer, we go from one extreme to the other, where we basically, like, the whole country like sets itself on fire. It's like obscenely hot. And in America and other smart places, they have a little thing called air conditioning. And in the UK, we don't have that. We don't have air conditioning units. So unfortunately, we have to suffer and bear the flames of heat when we do get a heat wave, and we don't really have anything that we can really do about it other than opening windows and drinking drinks with ice in them. So I'm not quite a fan of summer. I'm not quite a fan of winter either. And autumn, particularly in Scotland, tends to be filled with a lot of rain. And I mean a lot of rain. I mean to the point where things start getting flooded. So yes, there is quite a bit there. Here we are. So yes, thank you for that, Stardash. Thank you for your question as well. Very, very cool of you. And thank you for completing that goal for me. I hope that I answered your questions adequately. And I think we're going to go ahead and use this Ember tier reward here. Actually, that's only 585 points, so maybe we're not. Maybe we're just going to go ahead and use a Royal Rumble one instead. There we go. It's not that much of a difference. There we are. Maze Loves 88 says, "What's up, Grandcat?" and said hi. Hello, Maze Loves. Thank you for coming along to the stream. Stardash says, "I kept thinking of Vince when you said Dante's Inferno." Do you mean Virgil's name in WCW? Because the reason he was Virgil in WWF was, I think it was to mock another wrestling promoter, and I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't Dusty Rhodes, I don't think. Or was it Dusty Rhodes? Maybe it was Dusty Rhodes. But when he went to WCW, he renamed himself to Vince, as opposed in reference to Vincent J. Kennedy McMahon. Or Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vincent J. McMahon was is McMahon Senior, I think. Right. What shall we do now? Some more Team Rose Glory? Some Tag Team Takedown? Nice Guy says, "Is it 6 hours to claim rewards?" No, it's just that the event has ended and this screen will be up for a number of hours. The rewards will come in. They will be sent to your inbox. You don't have to claim them within 6 hours. It's not like if you don't claim them within 6 hours, you won't get them. Don't worry, they will still be there. You aren't going to miss out on your rewards. It's just that the event has ended and this little screen will be up for the next 5 hours and 25 minutes. You will also see that the chat or the rank will perhaps change. Currently it says that I'm ranked 1,812, but that might change while they are updating the information. Next guy says, "Okay, thanks." Spanner says, "Some people are starting to see the PCCs come through." Wow, that's very quick, if that is the case. Well, let's just take a quick glance here and see if there is. Oh, there we go. Wow, PCC rewards have actually came through already. Very cool indeed. So let's go ahead. We got rank 1,808. Now, it said that we were ranked 1,812, so we actually got 4 spaces above that. So let's go ahead and screenshot that. And we are indeed going to claim. And there is All Ego, Kill Him With a Smile, Ethan Page. Very, very cool indeed. Lock that one down. And we also have this little reward here, which is, because we chose Ethan Page, 1,000 credits. And also a rare to draft pick. So very, very cool. Of course, if you chose Tony D'Angelo, you unfortunately won't get that 1,000 credits. That's why it's important to listen to big old Grandcat when he tells you who he thinks is going to win these PCC games. Kevin Does YouTube says, "Hey, Grandcat, do you think Roman Special Edition will become available somewhere else?" Almost certainly. I don't think they're going to make that exclusive to the web store. I think that it's maybe just available in the web store a day early, and maybe from tomorrow we will get to see how we can get that Roman Reigns in other ways. Broydell says, "I have a full Mania deck if you want to do Tag Team Takedown." I think I've got a full Mania deck as well, so certainly in the possibility. Stardash and Blast says, "That was very interesting to learn about Scotland. Very cool info." Oh, well, thank you for completing the quest, and thank you for your donation. Very nice of you. Very nice, very evil. Kevin Does YouTube says, "What's your favorite image of Roman Reigns Special Edition or Limited Edition?" Well, they're very, very similar. Like, they are very similar. If we go into WrestleMania Forever here, we can take a look at the Limited Edition one. There he is with the belt raised high above his head. But the other image, we can't currently see it unless we actually pull it from the web pack. But it's almost exactly the same as this, apart from he has his arms outwards instead of upwards. And it's the exact same belt that's in his hands. And I think it's really weird of them to release two cards that are really close to each other, right next to each other. So I'm not sure what that was about. Are they both up arrows? I believe so. I think all Roman Reigns are up arrows. This one certainly is an up arrow, and I'm fairly sure that the other special edition Roman Reigns is also up arrow. I would be surprised if it's not, but then I could be surprised because they changed the Brock Lesnar backstage pass card to a down arrow, which he has always been an up arrow, so that was also pretty confusing. Now, what was I about to do? I was about to level up my Ethan Page. That's what I'm about to do. Big old Grandcat getting distracted, forgetting what he was doing. Now, what image do we want to use here for Ethan Page? We have a few here. That one's not so bad. I actually quite like the Ember one. I think it might be the Ember one that we're going with. Is it just me, or does this look Squid Game based? That outfit. I'm willing to bet that that is deliberate. But yep, no, I think this is the Ethan Page we are going with. And let's go ahead and train him up, shall we? One more thing after that should be enough. Just need an extra 4. Actually, we do need to get rid of these anyway. That will do. And here he is. There's our Ethan Page at level 100, who has 926.8 thousand in power, 1.030 million in toughness, 1.133 million in speed, and 1.201 million in charisma. And his finisher is the Twisted Grin. He also had now have the ability to make a second Pro Drew McIntyre after already having an F3 one. The F3 Drew McIntyre we of course used in campaign mode. Spanner says, low stakes conspiracy theory here. There wasn't meant to be 2 Roman Reigns, but they had to make a quite late change. Kevin Does YouTube says, so is Brock Lesnar the Deal of Destiny card? I think if anything, the Roman Reigns might be the Deal of Destiny card. I don't think the backstage cards have ever been available in events. Alex Garden says, one on website is up as well. Okay, thank you for that, Alex Garner. Spanner says, the store may have been intended for someone else, maybe Ric Flair, who has suddenly gone bananas. I did hear that Ric Flair was banned from attending WrestleMania. Don't know what that was about. I haven't read any further than that. But I thought that was an interesting thing, to say the least. Stardash and Blast says, what stinks is I should have stayed in the game, even when I was on break, and played casually an ecosystem. I missed out on some really nice images. Brand says, I went to the Discord. Stardash says, because not ecosystem. Oh, I see. I should have played casually because I missed out on some really nice images. there's a lot of images that you can still get much later. It's just you have to do specific things. Like, see things like this one here, like this Immortals pack. It gives you a bonus chance at some of the special edition ones. Unfortunately, it's really low percentages. So, like, for example, if you really wanted this 2K26 CM Punk, it's a 0.02% chance of getting it. A couple of NXT cards in there as well. You can see. So, there is sometimes ways of getting these cards, but it's just not the easiest way. This contains 2 of them. Interesting. What's this one? So this contains 1 of the following. Same cards? It certainly seems that way. Now, what's interesting here is this is the Void Saturday Night Main Event Matchman Randy Savage, which unfortunately the Void cards are the ones that we are missing. So I'm mildly considering taking a chance on that. Just see if we can get any of them, but also it's only it's a less than 5% chance. Oh, my YouTube broke. That's never happened before. Okay, like, we're still live. The page that on my laptop that I was watching YouTube on, which of course I'm watching my own live stream, so I've got the chat up, it just came up that something went wrong when trying to load this page, and it broke. So I was like, oh, that's unusual. Alex Garner says, I'm ordering some WWE merch on payday. Void Matchman, I think, is in the mixed bag as well. Okay. And Broydell says, Void cards are in the mixed bag for super coins. Is the mixed bag in here? Yes, they are. Interesting. Be nice if it gave us the the percentage chances of them. What does the grab bag have? It's nothing then. And this goes down to Eon. Eon, Adventure, Static, and Royal Rumble and Ember. I mean, we are missing this one. I wouldn't mind getting that American Nightmare Code Rhodes, but also we are running low on super coins, so I'm not entirely convinced that I want to go spending super coins at the moment. The Ember Special Edition is, of course, the 1-2-3 kid, also known as X-Pac. There is our Ricky Saints. And the static one is Mr. Iguana. All of which I am pretty sure we already have. Oh, there's an Urban Arch Shyster, which we already own. Good old IRS. Alex Garden says, I have that Cody image. Cost me 26,000 super coins to get him from Case Grab. Stardash says, oh cool, I need to buy more of those packs. Didn't realize that. Awesome. What are Void cards? Void cards, right. Whenever there's a new tier, there is like 3, 4, 5 new... Well, when there's a new season, there's 3, 4, 5 new tiers that all appear at the same time. And you can see here from these belts, we can see some of them. So, for example, in Season 10 here, Tempest, Detention, Noir, and Crucible all came out at the same time. So, because I largely skipped Tempest, Detention, and Noir, I did manage to get all the ones for Crucible, Tundra, and etc. when they all came out, but the older ones, Tempest, Detention, and Noir, were a little bit harder to get. But in season 12, Void is the only one that I'm still missing, of which we've got 186 of 190 stars. But if we take a look at what is actually required from that, if we go into the card catalog here and we go into Void, we can see that I have pro'd almost everything. I'm missing the pro of this Chill Screen. I'm missing the pro of this Fusion Cruz del Toro. So that's 2 stars. We don't have either of this Macho Man, so that would be 3 and 4. You get a pro of this Miles Bourne Fusion, which is 5. You get the pro of this Cyrus Griffin, which is 6. And literally other than that, the entire tier is completed. So basically, to get that little gem on your belt, you need to have less than 2 remaining stars for Void in order to have considered completing Void tier, which is insane. Oscar says, I have a problem because it says I have way more cards than I actually do. Can you help me? Oh, I see. Probably what your problem is here is, see if you go to General, see this part here that says Legacy. If you bring that up, you'll probably see that you've got a lot more cards than what you initially expected, because those ones don't show up when you just click all here. So I think if you do that, you might find the remaining cards that you are missing. Alex Garner says, Meechin Fusion, you need prod. Do I? Did I completely miss that? Oh my goodness, so there is. Wow. It just goes to show that Meechin is so forgettable that I even overlooked her like 3 times. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, interesting. Wow. That's crazy. Mr. Free to Play for Life, how to get Roman? Unfortunately, not for free. That is the answer. He's currently only available from a web pack, if you're talking about the special edition one. If you're talking about the limited edition one, we can get him until the titles have been released, and those titles have not yet been released yet, so you will just need to wait until those come out. Spiner says, I bet you do have the cards, Oscar. You may need to clear the filter and then check Legacy part to see all of the Legacy cards. Stardar says, oh, the tier. I feel silly for not realizing it. I thought it was a special type of cards like foil or limited. No, there's a tier called Void. Yes. Oscar says, okay, thank you. Mr. Free to Play says, how to get Roman. Spanner says, money. Stardar says, WrestleMania Forever and Backstage Pack. Brandon says, heart, Sulet. Thank you, Brandon. Asgard says, who do you think the next Battle Pass will be in days? That's a good point. We do have a new Battle Pass coming out, don't we? So our Battle Pass currently has 1 day and 21 hours to go. Well, I think since there's so many limited edition Roman Reignses, the 2 ways it could go is either a Battle Pass American Nightmare Cody Rhodes or a Battle Pass CM Punk. I think those would be the most likely. I think also we've just had the event Double Heroic Randy Orton, so I don't see it being him. And I think that they might want to capitalize on the main event for WrestleMania for this one. I actually think originally the Yokozuna was maybe planned to be a WrestleMania rewind, because of course Yokozuna passed away some time ago. So I think it makes more sense for him to be rewind and for WrestleMania 42 to be more active, recent stars. But I think they realized that no one would buy the Battle Pass if it was WrestleMania Rewind, so they changed it to WrestleMania 42. I think that's possibly what happened there. So I'm curious to see what the next Battle Pass card will be and see who it is. And depending on who it is will depend on whether I buy it or not. Spanner says Paige feels right. That's actually a pretty good idea. It could very well be a female, and Paige, of course, is brand new. So having Paige, who has just recently returned to WWE, might be a pretty good shout. Craig says, if it's not Paige, we riot. Oh no. Alex Garden says, give us title image, please, for Punk. Yes. Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. Stardust says, could Battle Pass be female or NXT? It has been in the past. So, yeah, it's definitely possible. And I see that there was a message there that was held for review. That does not necessarily mean that it was someone saying anything rude. Sometimes it just gets picked up by YouTube for the wrong reasons. Sometimes it can even just be spam. So do not worry about that. Although it could just be someone trying to be rude, and that's where YouTube comes in and takes care of those things for me. Let's see here. Craig says it needs to be female. Male battle passes are getting boring. Spanner says Roxy had a battle pass when she was in NXT. She did indeed. Alice Garner says, how has Charlotte never had an event card in WWE Supercard? That can't be right, can it? Charlotte's never had an event card? Has she, like, had a battle pass or something? I feel like Charlotte Flair's had something. There's no way that she hasn't. Where's Charlotte Flair? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, she's certainly got a lot of these things. That was her battle pass. She certainly had a lot of special editions, but yeah, maybe she's never had an event before. Huh. Wow. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. That's crazy to think about, but although I wonder what this was. SummerSlam Season 2. Stardust says Season 2 Charlotte, I think, was an event. Splatter says, quick, someone tell Ric Flair that she's been disrespected. Answer says, I was as shocked as you are. Broyle says she lost 2 PCs back to back in the early seasons. Ah, that makes sense. Right. Craig says, get ready for the give me a battle pass, please. Yes, I do get those messages. Stardust says, I highly doubt Paige because they know people want her and always do events for that. In most cases, I'm just going off the pass with how Cat Daddy works. Well, I mean, Cat Daddy makes money from battle passes and events can be completed for free. So I think if Cat Daddy is looking for money, then battle pass is maybe the way to go. But battle passes do tend to have a kind of cool aesthetic feature. You know, it's like more of an animated style, things like this. That's generally what we tend to get from battle passes these days. Brandon acknowledging the tribal cat. Craig says a Paige card needs dropping because she's listed as the title holder. Yes, and not only that, but there is also a title image of Paige, which I have shown before. I'll show it again here, where she has all the way back here. You can see at the side there, there's the Divas title, but there are better images of Paige with the Like, if you use that image on a different page card, you can see the title a lot easier. And I'm pretty sure that I've got one. I'm trying to think of whereabouts it would be. Card binder, perhaps? Take a look at the showcase, just in case. I don't think it's in here. They've got a whole bunch of title belts there. And that, of course, is the limited edition Santas. Not sure if I've got a page in the binder, though. The binder's all messed up. So what we need to do is we need to go back out and go back in. We want to look at the binder here. Stardash says, I love the Season 1 WrestleMania page image. I believe I've got that. Okay, there's the card binder in its correct order, once again. Now, I'm trying to think. Where would we see a page? Did Page have any... Oh, there we go. That's really weird that I didn't have the title belt on her. Maybe I've got a different page that does have the title belt. That tends to be how I work with these things. Now you can see multiple Seth Rollins with the world title over his shoulder. All of them. Kevin Owens with the Universal title. If anyone sees a page, do make sure to shout out in the comment section. Just occurred to me that we can now put the title belt on Yoko. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with that one. That looks cool. Just trying to find the right page image, one that has a nice open view so that we can see the title. These are the battles, I think these are all Battle Pass cards. They're certainly all the animated ones. They may not all be Battle Pass cards, but they are indeed animated. It's always a nice fun little thing to see if you have not seen them before. We can finally add the Drew McIntyre to this selection next to our Adam Cole, Braun Strowman, Bayley, and Asuka, because the Drew McIntyre with the title belt in the background was the thing that I was missing for the longest time. Can finally join that selection. Wait. There we go, there's the page. So there you can see the Divas Championship again on the left-hand side there. It's a little bit more viewable there than it was in the other image. But back in the day, they did always have this kind of border around the cards, rather than nowadays where the card is more out in the open. So I think if we do get an up-to-date page, perhaps a WrestleMania 42 one, then we could put this title image on her and it would be a lot easier to see. Also, like this hidden Dolph Ziggler Intercontinental Championship. So the original image, it cuts it off pretty much at the hands, but if you put this on a different image, then you can very clearly see the Intercontinental Championship in Dolph Ziggler's hands there, which is very, very cool to see. In fact, actually, I'll show you what I mean. So remember this Dolph Ziggler image, because that's what he looks like. And let's see what the original Dolph Ziggler image looks like in the card catalogue. So of course we go to big old Nick Nemeth. And I think that was an early on image. Yes, here it is there. Oh, actually, it's a lot easier to see. I'm pretty sure that in the original version, that this was much, much more covered up. It was more zoomed in. And I think over time, they have maybe rolled it back a little bit. I think that's maybe what's happened. Either that or possibly it was when you tried to use it with older images, or at the time, which would be newer images, they wouldn't show up quite as well. But there you can see there's indeed an Intercontinental title with Dolph Ziggler. Okay, so I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our Raw things, which have less than 2 hours left to go. Let's see here. Craig says, how many credits did it cost to max your binder? I honestly can't remember, but I'd be willing to spend a lot more credits if they would let me add more pages. Stardash says, title belt images are fire. They are indeed. I have always been a fan of the title belts. In fact, actually, outside of WWE Supercard, I have a complete, well, near complete collection of the wrestling toy belts, which goes all the way from WWE to TNA to WCW to ECW and a few other promotions as well. So I certainly do enjoy my title belts. Craig says, so many cool looking cards. Gutted I only started in Season 10. Well, Season 10 has had a lot of decent cards. It's just that there's some very cool old ones as well. Ben Horror says, it's crazy to think that one of Kyrie's last cards was the limited edition, which was a joke to get. I almost quit W Supercard because of that limited edition Kyrie Sane, because it was so impossible to get, and W Supercard did indeed listen, and when the new tier came out, you were able to get a couple of those limited edition Kyrie Sanes much, much easier than what they had been previously. So I'm hoping that they won't make that mistake again, and that from this point onwards, limited editions will be slightly easier to get than they were previously. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Stardash says, better late than never, Craig. I'm so glad I have the special Kyrie on the pirate ship, which I rarely see people with. It's a really good image with her in all white. Yes, it is. Craig says, very true, Stardash. Brandon says, OTC, and he's acknowledging that is, of course, the original tribal cat. Of course, the big old grand cat. So they do the tribal chief. Alice Gardner says, who's your favourite male wrestler that's active in WWE right now? Probably CM Punk. Maybe Cody. Although Cody has kind of fell a little bit. Roman is also amazing when he gets in the ring. It's just that he so rarely does. But CM Punk is pretty consistently good. I've always been a huge fan of Drew McIntyre. It's difficult to pick one. I mean, at any one given time, one could be better than another. Broydell says it's 11,500 to get max slots in the binder. Okay, here he fixed himself. Starter says, Spanner, for real, lol, Rick will lose it in the simpler things, especially involving Ashley. Of course, that is Charlotte Flair's real name. And Craig says, wow, 11,500 is crazy. Yep, that sounds about right. And I would be more than happy enough to pay that again to add sleeves, if they would freaking allow me to do so. But unfortunately, they do not. So I'm hoping that at some point they will either increase this number down here, or they'll increase this number here, so that I can keep hold of all these wonderful cards without having to freaking get rid of any. Right. let's jump in and do this then. So for this one, we need to be in the top 500, which means we need 95 million. Currently, we are anywhere between 82 million and 115 million, but we can make that better, and we shall. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go to equipment, and we are going to detach everything that is not in the performance center. The performance center is currently one Candice LeRae. Now we're going to look at females. And is it 25? The top 25, and it has to be power, toughness, and speed. So first of all, we want to put momentum on our best 5 females, which is our 3 special editions, our Stephanie Vacour, and our Raquel Rodriguez. This is how we're going to do this. So let's go into leagues, momentum. We're going to change this over to females. There's our 3 specials. Stephanie Vacour and Raquel Rodriguez is the next one. Okay, so we now have momentum on our best 5 females. Next up, oh, well actually let's take a look at our boosts. So Roxanne Perez gets plus 25%, and also left and right arrows help as well. Now, do we have any Roxanne Perez's? Not entirely sure that we do. It doesn't look like it. We do indeed have an AJ Lee with the Divas title, of course. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to attach the special equipment to everyone. So Soul Ruka, of course, gets the added bonus from the surfboard that gives her plus an extra 232,000 speed. And you'll see that our damage is now, it currently says 76 million to 108 million. That's unusual because, okay, I guess that is correct then. Now, let's see what else we have. Our Kairi Sains, of course. They're going to get their umbrellas. Because they'll get additional speed from them. Now, this is power, toughness, and speed. So, with Lady Flamer, we are going to give her her mask. Just going to give her additional power. And then I think after that, we're just going to equip the best power, toughness, and speed equipment to everyone. So it's everything apart from charisma. Sodi here says hi. Hello, Sodi. Stardash says, I love Randy and wanted him to get number 16, but knew he wouldn't do it just yet. Alex Gardner says, I'm off Grand Cat, have a fantastic stream. Thanks for coming along, Alex Gardner. Very much appreciated. Craig says, Cody was one of my favourites, but now I'm bored of him. Mania was the last straw. I was really hoping that Randy would have punched him again. Stardash says, what is the top 5 images you didn't get that you wish that you had? There isn't many that I'm actually missing. I managed to get a lot of them that I was missing. One of the ones that I wanted for a long time was the Brock Lesnar with the title over his shoulder, because that was the very first event card. And I was playing when that event was on, but I didn't spend the money to get it. And it was one of those regrets that I always wanted that, and it was re-released. So I was really happy once that came back out. One that I did miss out on, though, was a Nikki Bella with the Divas title over her shoulder. So that's one that I'm certainly missing that I would have enjoyed getting. I wouldn't mind getting that Cody Rhodes that's in the middle of doing the Crossroads. I wouldn't mind getting the AJ Lee that's in the middle of doing the Calf Crusher. And is there any other title or finisher ones that I'm missing? I'm not sure. Brandon Craig says hi. Hello, Brandon. So I'm not even sure I've got 5 that I am missing. There's an animated Hulk Hogan that I'm missing, where he's cupping the ear, that I just wasn't lucky enough to pull, apparently. So that's one that that I always kind of would have liked to get my hands on. There's also the brand new cards, of course, Becky Lynch with the Becky 2 belts, with 2 belts up in the air. And there's the Eddie Guerrero with the Undisputed Championship, which I still haven't pulled yet. I do have the other one with him with the Undisputed Championship over his shoulder, which I actually think is a nicer image. But yeah. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing, of course. So toughness is fine. Power is fine, of course. Charisma we do not need, so we can skip that one. We will go ahead and use this one here. Again, we don't need charisma, but this nightstick is totally fine. This is the Hardcore Championship. This is fine too. So we're skipping everything that gives charisma. This is ability and speed, so we don't really want this one. We don't want to put that on because it doesn't give us anything yet. Speed is good. I'm not sure we've got anything specific for Liv Morgan. I'm going to go with this one because those boots did give charisma. Of course, there's AJ Lee boots that give charisma, but as we're not after charisma, we're after everything else. We can ignore that one. That one's fine. We might roll back and grab some of these that do have charisma and other such things. But we'll do that after we've exhausted the rest of our resources. Okay, that's all charisma. Lani Kai's already up here in the top 25. It's pretty impressive to see. We only have a few more to use here. I think we will go with this one here. Okay, sometimes we need to go back out and go back in. So we can currently get now between 84.12 million and 118.2. And in order to stay in the top 500, we need to have over 95 million. Really? Have I done something wrong here? It feels like this should be stronger. But perhaps not. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Now we're going to try and keep as many of these for the Intercontinental title as possible. Okay, that is literally just over 100 million. Now I don't know what rank that's going to put us at. But we should be in the top 500. And now we're going to go after the Intercontinental title, or to defend the Intercontinental title, I should say. In order to do that, we are going to unequip all these equipment. And we're going to put the best cards into this one, because this is all going to be males. Okay, so this is all power and speed, and we need to have 40 cards here. Power and speed. So that means we are ignoring everything that's toughness and charisma. So of course we're going to give Yoko his salt bucket. We can give A. Joe Hendry one of his guitars. Now unfortunately we don't have the WrestleMania 42 one, so we're going to have to just work with this one. Now it is power and speed, I believe. Actually, we'll give that to Big Boss Man. I'll give that to him just now before we forget. Is Big Boss Man not in here? Really? I think if we do this and we equip this with him, that should bring him up just a little bit. That's power and speed that we are after, not speed and toughness, nor charisma. That one will do nicely. Okay, interesting. Now this Roman Reigns we're going to attach this, because it will still give him the power boost, and that wouldn't help anyone else, so that makes sense to me. If only there was a way to search by power, speed, or whatever. Chris Bennett says, did you get the PCC card? We did indeed. We got the... In fact, actually, is he in here? There he is. There's our Ethan page, number 1808. Currently, we are setting up to try and retain the Intercontinental Championship in Road to Immortality. For anyone new joining in, that's what we are in the middle of doing. So I'm just trying to use the best speed and power equipments that we have. Now I think we do have an AJ Styles that we can use that vest on. I'll give him an additional boost there. Actually, Javon Evans and up and down arrows, okay. So Javon Evans does get a decent boost here. So let's give him something strong. If possible, we want to use things that make left and right arrows into up and down arrows. Some of these aren't the greatest, but we have to work with what we have here. Do have to remember that this is all power and speed that we are looking for. That works out pretty well. We are currently now getting into the regs, if it were. But we're just going to have to rely on anything. Now I can see there's some chat going on, but I haven't had the opportunity to read it yet. Well, I'm trying to quickly set this up so that we're not here for the next decade. trying to do this. We're only looking for toughness and speed here. Making sure that there's nothing here. Now we don't want to change anything that's an up or a down arrow into a left or a right arrow, because then they'll lose their 10% boost. But ones like Kit Wilson here, who is a left arrow, we can indeed equip this speed too. Same with our Ethan Page. Now Camilla Hayes is an up arrow, so we don't really want to go changing him to a left or a right arrow. Now I know that we've got Roman Reigns there that we need to look at as well, but I want to look at the rest of these left and right arrows before we do. This is also an up arrow. So I think at this point, I'm just going to have to go for some rather weaker cards. I don't think we've got anything else that helps with power or speed. And there we go. I think everyone should now have equipment on them. And we now need to change our top 5. Which of course is everyone that's special other than the second Joe Hendry and the Roddy Piper. That seems incorrect. These two are the wrong way around. I'm going to swap these over. That's a little bit better. Right, so now we need to put the momentum onto our best 5 males. If anyone's wondering how to go about winning the Intercontinental title, this is exactly how you go about doing it. And do we have a rank for this yet? No, we still aren't ranked. Maybe if we back out and go back in, maybe that will update. So we are currently ranked 240, and of course we need to stay in the top 500, so I think I'm fairly safe there, considering it is an hour and a half left. And to get into the top 500 here, so we do need to be in the top 500 to retain the belt. We need to have a minimum of 101.169 million. We can get anywhere from 99.58 million to 124.1 million. Now, we would like to try and get into that higher epsilon, but so long as we are satisfactorily in the top 500, I'll be fine with that. So we've done everything we can here. Let's go ahead and jump into Road to Immortality to try and retain our Intercontinental Championship. Okay, 113 million. And of course, we just needed 101 million. So we'll see how that handles. If we go back out and go back in, it may update immediately. Sometimes it might take a little while. And someone in the comment section remind me, is Raw on in 26 minutes or is it an hour and 26 minutes? Okay, it hasn't updated just yet. It sometimes needs just a little bit of time. And of course, we're still in the middle of doing Team Road to Glory. But before I do that, let me just read some comments here. Ben Horror says, what's the lowest number you've gotten for a limited edition? I got number 9 for Jake Roberts, but lucky because I was just refreshing. Draft board ones, I'm never early. The lowest for a limited edition card? That's a very good question. Let's find out, shall we? So we can certainly look at these ones. We've got a number 76 on Lola Vice. Of course, that's from Campaign. It's pretty low down. We got a number 72 from this John Cena. That's 1019. 406 for Davey Boy Smith. 566 for Bret Hart. Getting the Wall of Ice within the top 100 is pretty good. 76. That means I was the 76th person to complete campaign mode. This 72 is actually lower than the 76 for the John Cena. I don't know how I managed to get that. But of course, we also have the card binder here, which has some limited editions in it, such as the Final Boss and Akuma. Yes, that is Akuma from Street Fighter. There's number 470, Macho Man Randy Savage. There's another 197 for The Undertaker and 136 for Trish Stratus. 309 for the Final Boss, The Rock. 250 for the Becky Lynch here. There's 435 for this Santa. And I think that's what reached the end of the limited editions because these are now the ranked cards from Last Man Standing onwards. But our best ranked card, if you want to just see a numbered card, is our Seth Rollins with a number 68. So 68 seems to be our lowest number for a ranked card, but our lowest special or limited edition is John Cena at 72. But the next one is campaign mode, which is number 76 for Lola Vice. So there is that question answer for you. So he says that limit time Undertaker is one I would like to have had. Ah, yes, I think I just showed them off there. Stardar says, not sure if it was answered, but Charlotte got an event card from Season 2 for sure. It was her SummerSlam 1. I think it was People's Champ. I think she might have actually lost that PCC, but the card still shows up in the binder. So I don't think it was actually possible to get that card. But I mean, it could be completely wrong. Stardash says, oh, and Season 1 WrestleMania 2. Again, I think that was a PCC that she lost. Chris Bennett says, did you get the PCC card? We did. Angela Camper says, do you know when the gold code is going to be released? I do not. But what I can tell you is the second it is released, it will be broadcast and shown here on my channel. So make sure that you're not only subscribed, but you have those notification icons so that you can see when that gold QR code goes up first. Chris Bennett says, I did PCC 9,615, just wanted the card. Well, congratulations, you were very close to not getting it. So you managed to sneak right under that 10,000 there. Congratulations to you. Stardash says, I feel that gold code will be found long after Supercard is no longer a thing one day at this rate. Kieran says, that Roman is cool, but £30 for a chance is a bit mad. Yes, yes it is. Stardash says, nice, always good to see, always good to add images. And Angela Camper says, we don't know when the gold card is going to be released. Stardash says, does anyone have good advice on Hype Train? I can only ever get 3 and once to find hard. Well, in order to get the double hype, the hype 2 on each one, you need to reach either a 18 or a 19. 17 only gets you 1 hype. 18 or 19 gets you 2, and 20 gets overhyped. So you're looking to try and do the math to try and get those numbers. Any 3 numbers that add up to either 18 or 19, that's what you have to try and go for. Spanner says, to be honest, Hype Train is luck of getting the cards that add up to 18 or 19. If you've got an 8 or a 9, you're probably going to struggle unless you dollars. Even if you do use money, you can only get rid of 2 cards. So, I mean, the only way to spend money to win at Hype Train is to keep playing it, you know, to play it again and again. So, yeah, it is luck-based, as you guys have seen in the past. Stardar says, oh, he actually does. I didn't think it was serious. Oh, okay. That's the chat are saying that someone has the gold code. I don't think they do. I think if the gold code did exist, it would be out on the internet. I've also heard people say that it exists somewhere on the internet, you just need to go and find it. That's not true either. The second one person finds it, they would share it with everyone. Same with Big Ol' Grandcat, the second I get the gold code, it's getting shared with all of you guys. So don't worry, the gold code is coming. We assume, if the gold code even does exist. But we will all get it at the same time. Aaron Carter says, he says it's going to drop soon, but I think he's lying. Spanner says, lying is a strong word. You may have to hold it longer. I'm inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what to tell you guys, you know. Peeling back the curtain just a little bit here. If someone had the gold code, and they were the first one to showcase it, stream it, whatever, that would get a lot more views than when it gets dropped and everyone shares it all at the same time. So I think if someone did have the code, it would have been shared by now. I am fairly sure that the code just hasn't been given out yet. Angela Carr says, I'm going to go. Bye, y'all. Well, thanks for coming along to the chat. Stardash says, guess we'll find out. 1 hour and 26 minutes. Okay. 1 hour and 26 minutes until Raw begins. Thank you for that. Spanner says, you'll be ballpark 60, I reckon. Oh, 52. 1 spot below me. Exactly. Really? Is that the case? Let's see. Okay, it's still coming up with that, but if we back out and go back in, it should hopefully reset it. Kieran says, are you going to get the Roman? I will. Not today, but hopefully soon. Sorry says, I fell asleep and I got 10,011 in the last event. Oh my goodness, that's so unfortunate. And There we are. Genius of the Sofa, number 51. That is very, very cool. Also, look at the amount of people that have world titles here, all in that top 50 range. My goodness, it turns out that if you get in the top 50 once, then you get in the top 50 quite a few times. Thankfully, we don't need to be in the top 50 for this one. We just need to be in the top 500, and I am quite content with where I am with both of those with an hour and 16 minutes left. I don't see me falling out of the top 500 there. Well, my goodness, we have a stream, haven't we? We've been streaming for over 2 hours. I can actually tell you it's been 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 43 seconds. So I think we are now getting ready to finish up today's stream. We did a tremendous amount there. Thank you again to everyone that came along. Let's change this back to all. And there is our 1808 Ethan Page. Kill him with a smile indeed. There he is. Very, very cool. And I think we're just about to finish up the live stream. Broydale says, I have every campaign card. Oh, wow, all of them. I think I missed out the first couple of campaigns because I didn't think it was going to be a thing. And it just seemed like a waste of time. It seemed like it would take far too long. And then once I realized it was sticking around, and I was like, okay, well, I'd better grind for these. So I think I missed out on the Razor Ramon and the Stone Cold Steve Austin. But other than that, I think I've had every single campaign mode since. Do you want a tag team takedown to end? Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, go ahead. Invite me. I know that you have been wanting this. Well, the invite has expired. That's fine. I know that you have been wanting the tag team takedown royal. So let's do one tag team takedown to finish off the stream here. And we will play until we get... We'll play until we get 5 wins. We might not get 5 wins in our first 5 games, but we'll keep playing until we do. Oh, that's someone that's managed to complete campaign mode as well that we're against. Or we're tagging with. This is, of course, Broydale. How is it you say your name? You're going to have to tell me, because I've been pronouncing it Broydale. I do not know how to say that name. I don't know what language it's in. So I'm just trying my absolute hardest. And we're starting with the Grand Cats deck. Well, of course, I still have all the equipment on from the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to have to deal with that. My partner has joined the game, so it's power and speed. So we have 2 right arrows, 2 up arrows, 1 left and 1 down. A good mix. Oh, my goodness, it chose for me. Because I was busy talking. Okay, thankfully. This seems to be working out okay. Oh, unfortunately, that Yokozuna is pretty big. Dang it. Okay, Broidal. Give me anything other than a up arrow, because I only have 1 down arrow. We're currently waiting on the partner results. Hopefully it does not disconnect. Oh, Broidal says, you said it right, I'm Canadian. Ah, Canadian. All the way from Canada. Okay, my partner is choosing a card. It's going to be a left arrow. So we're going to go with Randy Orton here. It's going to be say his name, and he appears, I believe, in Joe Hendry. We're against Gunter and Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay, our next one is going to be speed, and it's me that's choosing. So what is my best speed here? I think it's going to have to be our only left arrow, Jake the Snake Roberts. And tagging with Randy Orton, we should absolutely win this one. Against a number 70 Ethan Page. My goodness, someone grinded this PCC event. Needlessly so. The next one is also going to be speed. Okay, what do you want to go for? Okay, that is a left arrow, so we are going to go for a right arrow, and we're going to go with our Randall Keith Orton here. This guy's got original El Grande Americano and the modern El Grande Americano, I guess. Okay, the next one is toughness. What is our best toughness? It's probably Jake the Snake Roberts. Jacob the Snake and Randy Orton. That's a good amount of toughness we have there. And we just need one more win here. I think our All Ego Ethan Page might be our best shot here. Against Jake the Snake and Danhausen. We managed to defeat that terrifying tag team. Which is fantastic. And we are indeed, of course, going to continue. Hopefully, we're going to continue until we win all 5 games. We're against Burrito and Elite Turtles. And of course, we will be using Broidel's team. Fully all WrestleMania 42s, as he said. Okay, so my partner is choosing. I have 2 down arrows, 1 up arrow, 2 right and 1 left. So I think Randy Orton right arrow has just a little bit higher toughness than what our Ron the Truth Killings has. Against Gunther and Jake the Snake. That Jake the Snake limited edition has a tremendous amount. Punkmaster says, yo! Okay, this one is also going to be toughness, so we want to choose someone good here. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. And he's teaming with CM Punk. The main event of WrestleMania 42. Punkmaster says, how was y'all doing? Well, we did this live stream to complete PCC, and we successfully did that. So we're just doing 1 tag team takedown before we finish up today. Okay, it's going to be Power that is next. Okay, it's going to be down arrow, and of course I think we are going to go with the Roman Reigns here. Punkmaster says, nice. Okay, so mine is toughness. I think we'll go Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. Okay, this one is now Power and Charisma. It's going to be a left arrow, so we need to go with a right arrow. And we're going to go with Randy Orton. 2 event cards. Very nice. Stardash says, have a nice day, everyone. Enjoy Raw if you watch it. Thank you, Stardash. Also, you are ranked number 1 in my chat. So, huge shout out to Stardash for that. Right, dang. We lost that limited edition Jake the Snake Roberts once again. It's going to be Power this time. I think we'll go with Cody Rhodes. Douglas Camp says, hey Grandcat, have you ever had a famous person visit your shop? I have indeed. His name is Grandcat. He's a YouTuber. Tommy Tyson says, hi. Barron says, I'm doing it because the Legacy cards it gives, because been very good for my catalogue. I think I butchered that sentence, but you got the idea there. Okay, I think we're going to go with R-Truth for this toughness tag team here. If we win this one, then we should win this game. Very nice. And now we should be back to big old Grandcat's deck. And we are, of course, going to continue. until we get 5 wins. Against Mad Dog and what was that? Fatalisanin? It's supposed to be like the Italian stallion, but there's like some kind of F in there. Okay, so we have 2 right, 1 left. We've got 3 left arrows, 2 right and 1 down arrow. So we have no up arrows. Then we're going to go with this right arrow. We're going to hope that you've got the 4th left arrow. Okay, I assume that he doesn't have any left arrows. This might be a bit of an uphill battle for us. So I suspect, yes, Broidal says I have 5 yellows. I thought that might happen because I only have 1 down arrow and I've got so many left and right arrows that there's going to be a lot here that isn't going to tag with each other. So this is certainly going to be an uphill battle for sure. Now that is a down arrow Yokozuna, so I can only realistically and reasonably tag with our American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Okay, thankfully their 2 cards don't tag, so we should at least win this one. Sardar says, can you save all your daily login and collect them on the last day? It will eventually use them, but you don't miss out on them. I'm going to go with the Randy Orton here because I know that he does have a left arrow. Okay, he's went with the Roman Reigns, that's fine. Unfortunately, these arrows that do not tag, it's not going to help. If I am in the middle of a sentence and I end up forgetting what I am saying, you just need to ask again to get me to repeat the dialogue. I think even if they don't tag, it's still better to go with bigger numbers. I just hope for the best. Because if the opponents also don't tag, then we have a chance of winning. Okay, that one's actually pretty good. So we're going to use Rod of Paper here. There's that number 70 Ethan Page again. Maybe because Big Ol' Grandcat's deck is pretty powerful. It also gives me an opponent that is just as powerful. I think we're going to have to go with the Matt Cardona here. I suspect that we'll be tied with the up or down arrow. We're just going to have to try our best. Thankfully, because this has 0 toughness, we should win this game. And now speed and charisma. I think we're just going to go with this one because both of these are 1.589 million in speed and charisma. We have to hope that that is enough. And it was. That has got 3 wins. We are indeed going to continue. We need 2 more wins. Broidale and Grandcat are a super-powered tag team. Certainly on the basis of the Legion of Doom. So we have 3 up arrows, 1 down arrow, 1 left and 1 right. Okay, a down arrow Yokozuna. Very strong opener. I think we're going to match that with a Danhausen. Oh, yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. And again, we're against that number 70 Ethan Page. We keep running across this. Danhausen and Yokozuna, which would be a very, very powerful tag team, I would say. I think this time we're going to go with Mr. Iguana. And Penta. A strong speed and charisma, you would imagine. We are against Double Heroic Randy Orton and a Special Edition Joe Hendry, however. And unfortunately, those special cards do indeed overtake what we managed to put out there. Spanner says, very powerful, very nice, very evil. Yes, indeed. Okay, so this is a right arrow, so we're going to have to go with our left arrow, Joe Hendry here, to tag. The power of these two should overcome... Oh, they have also put out the exact same Joe Hendry and Double Heroic Randy Orton. However, ours were just a little bit better. Next one is, of course, going to be power. And it's either up or down arrow. I think we'll go with the down arrow CM Punk, and we'll see if Broydell has an up arrow. He does indeed. The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Unfortunately, that Jake the Snake is going to be very strong. The limited edition. Okay, power and charisma. The opponent is... My partner is choosing a card. The opponent will also be choosing cards. So this is a left arrow, so we're going to go with our right arrow to tag our foil, Kit Wilson. Against LA Knight and the original El Grande Americano, which we did manage to win. Power and charisma again. Running out of cards. So we're going to have to go with this Logan Paul, who's the only one that doesn't have a 0 somewhere. And he does indeed team with Yokozuna. And we managed to get that win. So we could win this in the next match here. It's going to be speed. And that is going to be the Randy Orton, which we're going to tag with our left arrow, Joe Hendry. We're going to do our best here against Randy Orton and Ethan Page. And it was enough for us to win. So we only need one more victory. We're going to continue. And we shall see if we can get the maximum rewards from Tag Team Takedown. Back to using big old Grandmaster's Grandcat, Abmaster and Facebounder. We're back to using big old Grandcat's deck. Sorry, I was reading while speaking, which is a silly idea. Okay, so we have a 2 ups, 2 downs, 1 left and 1 right. Okay, that is a decent amount. We're going to start off with Cody Rhodes. And Danhausen. Danhausen's toughness a little bit weaker, but his charisma is through the roof. Unfortunately, those limited edition Jake the Snake Roberts keep ruining our plans. Okay, it's now speed and charisma. I can tag with anything. Okay, well that is a left arrow, so we have 1 right arrow, which is Ethan Page, our own Ethan Page. And that Logan Paul and Matt Cardona do not tag with each other, which means that we do indeed win. This next one is going to be charisma. I think we're going to use our Matt Cardona here with the foil Ethan Page. It's Ethan Page and Shinsuke Nakamura, which we should beat. There's now a tag team of power. So we're going to need an up arrow here. It's going to be Drew McIntyre. Against Jake the Snake and also Yokozuna. With the power of tagging, we do indeed win. Next one is speed. I think we'll go with Matt Cardona because I know that he has the Ethan Page. Against Randy Orton and Joe Hendry. Unfortunate. Okay, it's going to be power next. That is completely fine. We will use our Ethan Page to tag with Jake the Snake Roberts here. Against Matt Cardona and Gunther. That's unfortunate. Okay, it's going to be power and toughness. We're running out of cards we haven't used, but I think we should be good with this Matt Cardona because the Ethan Page should come out. And hopefully this tag can beat what the opponent throws out. It does. I believe we only need one more win, which is going to be Charisma. Perhaps Yokozuna? Nope, okay, that is fine. And I think we're going to go with Drew McIntyre, just wanted to make sure. But yes, I think the up and down arrows here should suffice. Against El Grande Americano and Yokozuna as well. And we did it! That is a perfect game. Oh yeah. That was rather unusual, but we did it, and we can indeed claim our rewards. Going to give us a whole bunch of legacy cards. Apparently a new card was discovered. Which might be that George the Animal Steel. Brody Dell says GG's. We indeed did it. A powerful tag team, to say the least. Two very powerful decks. And let's see if we got any new cards, or any new stars. We can make the pro of that George Animal Steel and the pro of that Ink Montez Ford, as well as the Lola Vice. However, there was no new card, so I don't know why the game came up with that. You can't partner up again yet, but come back soon. And there we go. And now let's make pros of the cards that we need to. It's going to eat my super coins once again here. And a big thank you and shout out to Broidel for playing an awesome game of Tag Team Takedown with big old Grand Cat. And now we can trade in some of these. A mere 154 points. Certainly not the most points we've ever had. But each one also gives us a chance of getting that Drew McIntyre Special Edition. A 0.05% chance. WrestleMania Rewind Boots. Interesting. And this is the last one worth a mere 6 points. And I think regardless, we're still going to use a Royal Rumble 26 card here. I don't think we need to keep that static support. And, well, there we go. And we've also reached the maximum number of draft picks as well. We're going to dust some of these cards now. And we have 65 picks remaining. Oh my goodness. But there we are, folks. We did indeed manage to get the Ethan Page, rank number 1808. We should be getting or retaining the Intercontinental Championship, as well as getting another 200,000 fans. In our road to immortality, we're ranked 244 and number 52, respectively. We have currently done all of the games that we needed to do. One thing I've noticed is the 24/7 championship has not been defended yet, despite all the games that we just played there. PCC, of course, has ended. We did some amazing tag team takedown with Broido, and we are still in the middle of Team Road to Glory, which should give me a fortified Braun Breaker. It will be a fortified 1 Braun Breaker, as we have the regular Pro, but not an F1 yet. So, that is going to be it for this little video, folks, and I really hope that you have all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who joined me during this wonderful little live stream. We live streamed for 2 hours, 38 minutes, and about 20 seconds. And we're down to a mere 16 members of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet. I think a lot of people turned off when we started playing Tag Team Takedown. But again, thank you all that came along and joined Big Ol' Grand Cat for this live stream. Really hope you have all enjoyed it. And we shall see you all in the next live stream. Goodbye, everybody.